Hey guys, we're just getting set up. If you're here attending, just hang out for a little bit. Meeting's still got 20 minutes before it starts. We're just getting everybody online. Make sure everybody has a good connection so we can provide you with a good meeting tonight. It's going to be fun tonight. Philip and Mary Wilson are going to be here. You're really going to enjoy it. It's going to be more on the technical education versus business education. So I think everybody will enjoy it quite a bit. Wow. I got to adjust my camera here. There we go. Oh, too much. There we go. What the hell is going on here? You don't have your mic on yet, Mayor.
So you want this side?
There we go. Hey guys.
That's right here.
This is this here?
Yeah.
It can't be. That's at the.
We got plenty of time. Relax.
Oh no, you're right. Which side do you want it to be, honey? No, that's not going to work. You need it to be on the proper side.
But can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you, Phil.
got him.
Oh really? Great. Okay, let's put this in here.
Can I do it on both?
Do you want both?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted both. Then go ahead and. This is. Yeah, that's.
No glasses.
I don't know what you did to it. Let me help you. No, this goes over here. You're right. Oh, wait. I did it to myself. All right. We got you. You're all set. Okay. So you can talk to Derek now.
Derek, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And you can hear him?
Yep. Volume up.
Excellent.
That's what he
Excellent.
said? How do you put your volume
Okay.
up on here? Oh, you don't know. Okay, I'm going to sign in with my own credentials.
Can you hear me, Derek?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
I can
Perfect.
only hear you in one on one, not on both. Is it both switched on?
Yeah, definitely. But
Oh.
it doesn't matter, really. It matters if they can hear you.
Derek's got little
Yeah.
grey pieces on his
Okay.
goatee.
He's throwing it in.
I gotta shave it down the middle like yours.
Yeah, I would do that, buddy. Yeah, right. Okay, I can hear you perfectly clear.
Good. Do you like my barracks haircut I gave myself?
All right.
Oh my God, I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
So is right now I have the earpieces in, and I want to make sure that you can hear me clear.
Very clear.
Perfect. And I can hear you very clear. Can this be turned up, baby? Please be turned
You
up
need to turn that up.
on this, I mean.
No, you're on there. It's the
Oh,
same
okay.
thing.
I'm on max.
You are.
Yeah.
And this should be the same thing. Okay.
How about that, Derek?
I can hear you fine.
It's you that can't hear
That
me.
just went down.
I'm heading up, so still, this is as good as it's gonna get for your hearing, probably. Unless you
Yeah.
wanna go put it in one of your devices.
Can't wear it with that.
I know, but you don't have to have both of them in,
Right.
because you're just doing this for the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Then you just don't hear me.
The phone's ringing.
Hey, Andrew, we're getting set up.
Not my phone, it's his phone. It was Derek.
I did send it out, but you can share it with the same one I sent you. Okay, it's in the top of the group though. I just posted it several times in the group. Salon Owner Mastermind. Okay? All right, you got it. Talk to you in a few. Bye. Sorry about that. Trying to get, Rodney Cutler wanted to get on too, so.
Oh, awesome. It's funny, Philip was like.
Mary, your volume is very low. If you can, oh, no, you know what? You're coming, hold on. You were going through Phil's. Hold on. There you go.
No?
Now you're up. You're good. You're good.
Oh, got it. So that's what the feedback too, but we still have feedback. So maybe it's better to not, let's test it where you hear me
Talking, standing beside Philip.
What do you think of that? Because there's feedback,
Yeah,
right?
it's what's
Okay, so
happening is
let
your voice is going over his mic also.
Okay, so let me mute myself. Okay, so now I'm muted.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you can hear me perfectly on Philip.
Yeah, I can hear you perfect through his mic.
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you perfectly, so we're ready to go.
So I'll stay muted so I can hear you,
Okay.
and you don't have to put me on camera at all. Because
I
when
mean,
I am
it
on
doesn't-
camera, I'll be here with Philip.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, the camera is based on your screen, right? And we have,
Muffled for me. I can't.
we've got Andrew will be coming in, James will be coming in, and I think Rodney Cutler might be joining us also. I'm not sure.
Can you turn your mic up, Derek? So I can't hear you very well on my piece.
I'm all the way maxed out on my side.
It's not,
I'm
it's
maxed
not
out
now.
on my side. Okay.
You want to try Mary's mic? The one.
I'm-
Oh,
you wanna
okay.
try this? But it doesn't have as good of a mic, I don't think.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know, maybe it's okay. Do you want to try this instead?
Okay, hang on.
Then I won't have the. Try this and see if it's better. I don't think it's going to be.
All right, try that.
I can hear you fine. How about me? How about you?
Oh,
It's not
yeah,
gonna be
I
better.
can hear you much better.
Okay, good, good, good.
But I'm getting a feedback.
'Cause you're talking about that.
That's
I think you gotta stick with this one. It's
Got it.
cordless. It's important they hear you, not you hear them.
Got it? Okay, let's go. I'm cool.
yeah, and we can hear you guys great. So
Yeah,
Mary,
I
if you
think
want
that's
to
way
listen,
more important.
if you want to listen in and then translate the questions over to Phil, that'd be
Totally.
perfect.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you're
This way
saying
Phil
Rodney
can-
would be another moderator?
No, I think he was just going to come on the panel, but I think he's going to go into regular Zoom. So
Okay, cool.
Andrew just sent them a link. Not a big deal.
Okay.
No,
He wants to
it'll
a
be the,
presenter.
yeah, no, I just wanted to put Phil under a little pressure.
What was
I
that?
heard that.
I heard that. Don't be rude.
Oh, I need to be turned off. Oh, my mic is off.
I can. Perfect.
That is crazy.
We have custom methods, we're probably trying to use.
So now which camera are you guys going to use? Because I can see you, Mary, but I can't see Phil.
He's just out of camera right now.
Okay,
Hello.
okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna be here. We have this
Okay.
white screen behind us.
Okay, perfect.
And we will.
Oh, who's that?
Have this.
This is my girlfriend.
I'm gonna take it. No, not until we're ready. The man can-
I know. Chill out, Mary. Okay,
All right. So I can't hear him.
you can't
I
hear
gotta
him.
promote, yeah, I gotta promote James Albert.
All right.
Panel.
So.
Let's see, attendees. I don't know
yeah,
why you guys
okay, so-
join as not an attendee. Promote to a panelist. There you go. Alba, I just promoted you to a panelist.
So what I was thinking about doing was going on and fielding questions on Facebook while I was working.
So,
If I'm on here, I don't think I need to
on
be
there,
on here.
Derek won't be that big on that screen, will he?
No, you will be when you're talking.
Right.
Whoever's
Yeah, when
talking
you're
is.
talking, what's gonna happen is what you have to do in the top right corner of your screen, it says gallery view. You gotta click gallery view.
We're in full screen right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it goes back
Yeah,
and
you-
forth between.
Yeah, you guys are the presenter. It'll only be when I'm talking, and I won't talk while you're giving the lesson. I'll just translate questions as they come in. Trying to get some other people in here first, so we're definitely going to run a couple minutes
I
late.
can't hear very well,
Go and do what you did the other day.
which was,
Do you have,
I got one in here. I can hear him, but
then do that over your ear like you did the other day.
no, I did this. This is what I did. I got,
No, you did it over so you could hear some. Remember?
mhm.
Over the top, over your ear.
No, this is fine. This will be up. This will be fine.
Once you get going, I think you'll be fine.
Yep.
Can you hear me? If I ask
Perfectly
you
clear.
questions. Okay,
I can hear you perfectly clear.
okay. We don't want the feedback. So I'm still hearing feedback when I talk, are you?
What's that, Mary?
I'm still hearing feedback when I talk, are you?
I'm not. It's probably
Okay.
because you two are so close to each other.
And I have this in my
And
hand.
once I mute my mic, you shouldn't
I
hear it.
can't understand what he's saying, but I'll hear you.
I don't know what to tell you about that. You're presenting, so you're going to be
Got it.
fine.
So how did last night go, Derek?
One, very well, very well. Steve is very entertaining and great numbers.
Yeah. Excellent.
Of course, it's always funnier when we have you and Gino on at the same time with a drink. I just got off the phone with Jim Bauer. He said to say hello.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, Mary, this is very professional.
I see shadows.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Hi.
Okay, so she's got your mansion with you right here.
Of
Right.
all nights to have technical
I can.
issues, right?
Okay.
You find James Alba on here.
Okay, so what time is that? Let me see if anyone's trying to reach me. You just got a message
New
on
panelist.
your phone. I don't know. You wanna look
I
at it?
turned mine off.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Good. There you come, buddy.
All right, there we go. Hey, kids. What's going
What's
on?
up, man? How you doing?
Good. You guys look really good.
Well, thanks.
Any animal? There's not going to be like an animal, like a Jack Hanna type thing where you're going to break out a bobcat while you're doing a bob or something fun, right?
We hope not.
We're not going to tell you until it actually happens.
That's
Yeah.
what you're saving, that surprise, right? That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's always a surprise to us too. For sure.
I know it's so horrible to be in Palm Springs with all these wild animals. I have 3 wild animals running around the house, and it's not as scenic as or as warm as you guys have. That's for
I
sure.
bet you do. You know, today we actually had to turn the air conditioning on. We vote for that in front of everyone because they'll be 2 hours.
Right.
Literally, our air is running. I should turn it off actually before we start.
Oh, we can leave that on. That's not going to be.
I'm just getting the Facebook Live going, guys, while you guys are chatting.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, Miss Mary, ready? Yes, ma'am.
Watch this corner here. Sharp.
I'm right on the corner. Look at us, Derek.
I can't see you yet. I'm getting the Facebook Live going. Hold on one sec.
Okay, you're cool. I think I'm gonna go on Facebook Live.
Okay, I wonder why I can't hear Derek that well.
Because you can't hear.
True.
It's like me.
What do you want me to tell you?
So
Wife
you
always
will
yells
have
at
to.
me, "Where are your hearing aids?"
Slap him.
Okay, we are live
Oscar.
in the Facebook group.
Oscar V.
There we go.
Well, we can see that.
I don't need to hear anybody. I'm working. I'll listen to you, Mary.
Oscar says, "Hey y'all, you're so pretty. Slap them."
I did slap him already. You're too late. Can we switch sides so I can step out more easily?
Yeah.
Really?
And then you can bring my clients in.
Oh, I'm not working for you.
Hey, James, who's monitoring the Facebook Live tonight? Anybody or?
Oh, Angela,
Yeah, we have a couple people on. I have them both covered now.
I love his backdrop.
It's
Okay, cool.
so because you guys are technical, which is out of my spectrum, all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get people to actually put technical questions in the Q&A. So what's been happening is, so anybody that's on as an attendee right now, the early adopters, when you have an actual question, put it in Q&A. When you want to make a comment and you want to love something, those go in the comments. But if it's something technical based that you want us to ask, put it in there. This way it helps us kind of decipher, because we're sort of monitoring the chat in the Facebook, we're monitoring the chat here, and then Q&A is like the legit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I thought I would go onto Facebook and share questions that come on there too, because I'm going to be off most
Perfect.
of the time.
Which is great.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then Mary can
The more
throw
the-
the question through to me if people want to ask questions as
Yeah,
I
yeah,
work
yeah.
along. That way it'll cruise beautifully.
Perfect.
You guys cool with that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the normal thing is we start at 8:05. We're 7:57 now. Just give everybody an opportunity to get on, and then I'll introduce the two of you, and then you can introduce your model. Exactly.
I have a whole gallery.
We have a
Yeah,
gallery
I
for
saw
you.
I saw the guest gallery. That was cute.
Yeah.
Show them.
Here we are. You know, that's not working.
Oh, that's funny.
Girl.
I don't know. I would feel like I had a bunch of stalkers looking at me, Mary. Phil walked away with the mic. We can't hear you.
I've got the mic.
Okay, so we line them up at the window, looking out, so we have extra security as well.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I was cracking up. Obviously, it doesn't
Yeah.
work with skunks and bobcats, right?
Well, when you look up at the house, all you see are these heads looking at you. It's very
Lovely.
It's like Halloween instead of April Fool's Day.
Exactly. Okay.
Oh, did I
I'll
mention
bring
your
in-
webinars tomorrow night?
Good. What was that? I heard a comment, but I'm not. Say that
I
again.
said, did I mention your webinars tomorrow night? April Fools.
We were actually last night. According to, who was Monday night? Oscar.
Oscar, right? Mr. Oscar. Right, come on, let's party.
Patty, you can only host a watch party afterwards in a private group. You can't hold a watch party. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all these videos to a YouTube channel so everybody can watch them afterwards.
Perfect. Who's that? From Patty.
Cool. That's the panelist comments up there.
Right.
Fellow panelists.
panelist.
This should be a little bit.
Oh,
I know.
don't touch. Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Very
Don't
precarious.
touch. Don't touch.
That better? Oh, God.
Right. Oh, I'll be right back.
Oh,
My
of course
brush.
you will.
Oh my God.
This is going to be fun.
I can hear you guys, so be quiet. Oh, Mary.
Oh,
Hey there, Andrew.
just having fun.
Hey there.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Mary.
Andrew, how are you?
I am terrific, Philip. How's the skunk?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
I love the hat. Honor, struggle.
Honor the struggle.
On your dog.
Very cool, man. You'll have to send me one of those.
I'll see if I can
I'm
get
a hat
another.
junkie.
Have to see if I can get another one, man.
Well, come on then.
We'll send you a Wilson Collective one.
We have a golfing one left.
That's
No,
fair.
you're right. You're right.
Yes, once this nonsense is all over, we all have to get together, do something
Yeah,
fun.
in real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What real world? There is no more real world there. This is the real world. Exactly.
We're in it.
We're in it.
Hey,
Well, I'm not going to
You're on
lie. I kind of like social distancing from Andrew, so.
That's right. So I want to ask you a question. Because someone said that the salon world will never be the same, that people won't want to go to salons where they're with other people, that they'll be, prefer to go to places where they're,
Yeah,
single chair, one-on-one. How do you respond to that?
Wow.
Hmm.
So what I think is that the really business-oriented salons will survive and they
Mhm.
will thrive. And I think there will be some who might look at their business and say, yeah, it's time to be done and go into that smaller situation. So, and kind of everything in between is going to be hard, right? So there
Yeah.
could be salons who can't get loans because they were already in too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think finance plays a great deal to have tremendous amount how
Mhm.
they come out the other end, but I don't know. None of us have ever been here before, so to say, I hear all these predictions on what will happen, should happen, could happen,
Mhm.
and I think it's truly for the first time ever that we're just going to have to continue walking through this and see what the outcomes each and
Mhm.
every walk we go to.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Because it's just, no one knows. I mean,
I
I
just-
watch YouTubes and I watch Facebooks and people saying, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And I was listening to Bill Gates with CNN with Anderson Cooper today. And the guy, he just was extremely quiet, Anderson Cooper, listened to Bill Gates, and Bill Gates said that it still hasn't built its entire momentum yet, in his and his wife's opinion. And so he says he thinks we're in for a long journey.
Mhm. Mhm.
So who knows? Let's see.
We'll see.
All I know is Mary and I will keep walking forward.
Have some fun. Yeah. My take is people like to be social, and they like to see and be seen. And while they at this moment, everyone in New York City, let's say, and other places, 6 feet apart, it's not natural, and I don't think we're going to adapt to that mode of behavior. That's my take. I mean, that's really legislated kind of behavior, and I don't think people will, want to do that forever.
No.
Okay, guys,
It's
we're going to
truly
get started.
unbelievable what's going on out there right now.
Mhm.
Even more reason. Okay.
Hey Phil, I wore this T-shirt for you tonight.
She's so mean, but.
Just,
Okay, could you
just
show
in
that
your
again,
honor,
please?
okay?
James, I didn't know you knew me that well.
Let me see that. Let me see that. Let me see that. I love it.
I'm on the group. I'm on the group chat, so I know everything about you now. Should be worried about the messages Phil sends me after about you. That's the scary part.
Okay, Phil, Mary, are you ready to get started?
We are.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So with that, we're going to get started tonight. Welcome everybody to the Salon Business Reset. Tonight's class is going to be with Philip and Mary Wilson. Philip's going to be demonstrating some technical techniques, we'll call them, right? Phil is the master. So they also own Wilson Collective, and we're happy to have them here this evening to share with us. At this point, I'm going to kick it off to the two of you, and then I will jump in if the panel has any questions.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
Hi, everybody. So, like many of you, we spent the last couple of days online learning about the different types of loans and ways that we can get financing and ways to move our business forward. And so tonight, we want to do something a little bit lighter. It's April Fool's, so let's just pretend that none of this is happening. Okay, that doesn't work. So instead of pretending,
April Fool. Oh, yeah.
what we want to do is we want to provide you tonight with some techniques that can improve the speed by which you cut hair and the interaction with your client, the commitment to the relationship with your client, because Philip Wilson created techniques which are called the Wilson Method that are very unique. And when you're doing them on clients, they realize that they can't get this type of hair cutting everywhere, and it will build loyalty as well. So tonight we're going to help you with that to learn how to be more efficient, and then also if there was ever a time to practice skills and techniques, this is the time, right? So everybody, after this, grab a mannequin, go out in your garage, dig around, find your mannequins, and try this. See what you can introduce. So first of all, we want to tell you a little bit about us. So Philip and I are both hairdressers. He has been a salon owner. I have never been a salon owner. I've been in the business 35 years. Philip's been in the business just over 50. So he's in his
Shut up, Derek.
he's in his 50th year.
I was a year old when I started.
So about a year and a half ago, Derek's laughing really hard. About a year and a half ago, after working for many companies, some of them huge corporations that we helped build over the years, we decided it was time to kind of go back and be more grassroots and to start with education first, to create our own very small boutique line, sold directly to salons, get out on the road in an RV. We now have over 30,000 miles on that RV. We just came off the road 2 weeks ago, cut our trip short. So we love being out there, and we are like the rest of you in our home right now, and just connecting with people in every way that we know possible. So Wilson Collective is our baby. We're a brand new company like many of you. We're a small business like many of you, and what we all share in common is a passion for the industry and a passion for what we do. And so while we work towards getting back to that place where we can all be together again, tonight we'd love to share with you the Wilson Method. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Philip Wilson.
Thank you. Now, as this came about, it was close to 25 years ago. When I started my career out in London, I got to a place very early in my career where I was 15 years old, and I had a letter that I had to give to my mother from the principal of the school, and I didn't open it. I was pretty good at steaming open letters back in those days, but I decided not to do it with this one. And so I took the letter home, and my mother opened it, and she goes, "Well, that's it, darling." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Well, if you'd like to read it." And it says, "Mrs. Wilson, we believe to the betterment of the English schooling system that your son no longer attends." She goes, "So that's it." I was with her at a much early age than that, where she would drag myself down to the salon, And I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it because I'm shampooing these, I would say, but mature women, and they had cigarettes hanging out, and I'm going, oh, this is not what I want to do in life. And after a period of time, I thought, now, wait a minute. I started to accrue this sort of like ability of chatting them up. And with the chat came a little bit of cash. And I realized, wow, this is a pretty cool place to be. So I headed into London, and I met someone in London. His name was Maurice Tidy. And Maurice was a very influential hairdresser with Vidal Sassoon at the time. And I basically looked through the window and thought, that's where I want to work. That's what I want to do. And out comes this hairdresser who says, get your bloody nose off my window. I've just Windexed it. I've just cleaned it. This was Maurice Tidy. And I was 15 years and 7 months old. So that was a long time ago. Since then, he's been very influential in my life. Same as with a lot of people like Nicholas French and great hairdressers that are still doing it today. Then I realized I did not want to cut hair the same as everyone else. What I mean by that was that I used the architectural designs of Vidal, who I became close with. And that's why my wife, Mary, and I were chose to do his memorial in Vegas at Naha. I got real close with him, but then I also had the ability of watching Alexander of Paris work. This guy was someone who worked with 2 Mason Pearson brushes, and he had a strop razor, and he would walk through haircuts as he followed brushes. Then I'd see the Italian designers working with more flamboyant movement. And so I incorporated all 3, and I created the Wilson method. Let me explain to you briefly before I start demoing why that was so important. I could not balance a haircut for all the tea in China. I always got the right side, and people have heard me say this so many times, but it's true. I was great at getting the right side, lousy at getting the left side. So hence all my haircuts were asymmetric. Now to the hairdresser, that they know what that means. So I got into a place of where I needed to understand how I could balance either side. That then led me to the Alexander world. He was working with brushes. I modernized it and started working with combs. So everything I work with is basically what I can do one side, I can execute with the other. It was amazing the inspiration I got when I started working with a comb and brushes, how I could start to balance shoulder length, bobs, asymmetrics, fireflies, really cool looking designs. But here was the key, and this is why now it's so important. The speed, the accuracy, and the control that I have over my designs is where we need to be at now, because it's coming round, it's coming back. They can't leave us. We're the most important thing out there. Without, I mean, you can have and wear whatever you want and dress the way you want, but if that hair is not right, man, it doesn't matter. So I want to show you in this really short, brief time that how I put a one line in, how I've now, and I've prepped up 4 models for you today. The models won't say a lot to you. They don't talk much, and they let me do anything I want. You call them mannequins, I call them clients. And the beauty of it is I get lines in extremely fast, but there are keys to how I do this. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to bring in this. I hope you can all see A-OK. I'm seeing the top part of the head, but not the frame. Can you, is it a full screen where you can see?
Yeah, Phil, you're good. We could see most of the
How
head.
far down can you see?
Not, pick your hand up. I'll show you a little more.
All right, watch.
We're seeing about neckline.
This is what I'm going to do. I'll bring her up. There.
Good.
Better?
Perfect.
Now, so this is what I look for. I look for seam beams in haircuts. And basically, I go in, and this is for the first time what I've worked with, which is very unusual. I usually work with like 5, maybe 5.5-inch blades. These are 6.5-inch cranes. And basically what I work on is I look for and watch what the light beams are throughout a head. Then I take it, I come down, I glide below that beam until the blade protrudes. So when you go in, blade flat to the head, there's the protrusion of the blade. Then I sit the comb on top, high compression, I come down, a 90 to a 45 in, then carefully watch. Bend the fabric fractionally to the back of the comb. This is the initial stages. Then with the tip of the blade, start to journey through the shape you want to accrue. Check this out, and there it is. And then when you're at the line and desired length, remove. So that basically is how I frame a haircut. Again, using, now this is Don't Stress It, which is within the Wilson Collective line. I use it to cut with and absolutely love it because it keeps even porosity and balance to the fabric as I'm cutting. And I think there we got it. So again, come around, glide below that beam, the blade protrudes, sit the comb on top, then elevate up, all I can see is Derek, and then fold in. Derek, can you go off the screen? And then here, watch, through, elevate out, and remove. And then I get this amazing line to my design. And off. So there, then I come around. Then as I walk around, start to then go, follow it around. Then from the center, where you're working, guys, you're working horizontal. Then as I come to the sides, I start turning and tilting diagonal. Now all this is framing. One section, single line cutting. Then in. And I love to show this, I have to be honest with you, because it just simplifies everything so much. So when you come in, use the back guideline that you were working with. Then, as you come down, look, blade flat to the head. Glide through. The blade will protrude. There it goes. As it protrudes, sit on top, high compression, come down at a slight over direction to the previous line. Go in, use that previous line as a visual guideline, and remove. And she'll sit like a dream. There she goes. And you get the most beautiful shapes, so fast, so effective. And in. And I practice out in the garage here at a tremendous amount, constantly trying to perfect what I've been working on, and then going in. And once I've got that frame in, I go back to the opposing side, or you still have the ability to continue forward. But these are keys within the Wilson method that I really want to push across this evening. I will show you pre-dones that I've gone into doing with the same technique, working with the combs and the brushes. And what we are doing on the 20th of April, and we have the 20th of Monday, then we have Wednesday and Friday with Beauty Launchpad, showing you all these things that I'm showing you tonight and more. So there'll be a gig on the Monday, one on the Wednesday, one on the Friday. Now, when you come here, till in, there, and go down, go across. Now watch the blade, there it's left the head. So address that panel. Now when I come here, that's basically what I'm looking for. So when I come down, I start the turn and I fold in. Go inside, use that previous line at the back, the horizontal line, and then remove all the way through in one section. Slight bevel to the blades, and in she will go, and work your way around. It's the speed. I'm obviously going that much slower, so I can show you what she'll do and how the line will sit all the way through. But it's the speed you've got to get this line in. That's the key to it. And with single line, you get these beautiful shapes. Now, this represents the fingers. So as I said before, I can balance either side. I do shout a bit because I get excited, so I'll try and lower my voice just a little bit. When you come to the front, as you work your way around, so I would, and the combs are the Wilson method combs. Now I'll hold it there. You can see it like so, or I'll bring it in on there. It's the same, the teeth are the same all the way down. Now if you notice, there's a gap at the top. That I use to place the blades in and lift when I'm doing short, which I'll show you in a moment, more like pixie, more like firefly cuts, and I want to put elevation to the side or create levels of stack, then I will lift it by placing the tip of the blade in and lifting accordingly. When you understand what Wilson method is about, it's just, as Mary said, when we all go back, the speed that we need to execute our lines, it's extremely important. Once you frame something, it's almost like you're an artist. You frame and you canvas. The painting is up to each individual artist. Because my beauty of it is, once I can get the frame in, then I'll play. And that's what clients come to us for, is that individuality we can create. And I just never wanted to cut hair the same as anyone else. Now, that's not saying people do it wrong, right, or indifferent. I just have my methods, and these are the techniques I use to get it. Now, watch here. When you place the blade in flat and draw across. You'll notice with the 6.5 inch, the Wilson cranes, that will push, look, over direct back. So watch, there's the protrusion there. There you can see the blade protruding. Sit the comb on top, elevate up, come down, turn. Okay, as you're there, then like so, whatever your length you want to be. Then remove your line. And because of the beveling of the comb and the blades, it'll sit like a dream. You get the most beautiful shapes, extremely fast. And I've had so many people when training and in my career say, well, that's gimmicky, or that is, you need to section it to do this, you need to section it to do that. I don't. My thing is, I will get this, as I said earlier on, I'll get the frame in super fast, and then I will start working it. How is that? There. Now, another key when you come to the left side. When you've got the line sitting in, and you know that she's about right, walk to the front, work. So I'm going to show you in a moment what I'm working with, because I often, when I'm doing things, this is don't stress it. That's what I work with when I'm cutting, because you want to keep an even balance to the line. So the alternative, I will put this side in, and I want to just show you something. When you've got this in, look, place the blade, travel the blade. Now, what I do is I take my 2 fingers here, and I'll draw back and push forward. There's the protruding. So then bring that blade out, sit the comb on top. Now, bring a little bit of compression to it with this finger and the blade. So as you bring it down and over direct traction back, look at the turn. You're turning 45 to a 90 to a 45 in. Go inside. Now look, match, look at the base where my other thumb is. I will fit that as it comes out. I've got my guidelines. the blade matches the angle of the comb. And there she goes. In like a dream.
Philip, we have
And
a
there she
question coming.
sits.
Philip, can you hear me?
I say that again?
Yeah, so we have a question coming in. Do you ever cut the way the hair flows? For instance, on the right side, cut towards the face instead of towards the back
Derek, I
on the
can't
one
hear
leg?
you.
Sorry, I'm on Facebook, so I'm not in. So, until it goes there. Derek's asking a question, I guess, that I'm not caught up on.
Okay, what was the question again, Derek?
So the question was, do you ever
You've got
cut?
your mics, I can't.
Derek is,
Okay.
oh, here we go.
What is the question? Okay.
I got it, Phil. He said on the right side, you cut towards the face instead of back. And yes,
Yes,
so the scissors guide the hair on one side, the comb guides the hair on the other.
right, right. So once you've got your frame in, then that's when I go in and start personalizing it. And here you've got two alternatives. So then I go in and I work with the brushes. So the two brushes here, watch. The handles are heated so they go down. They lock, the front locks. And what you've got, this is the premises behind it. With the handles up, you have a low graduation. Handles down, high inversion. This was the Alexander part that I worked on, and I just absolutely love it. So what I would do is I would take the back panel here. So that's the back 4 quadrant. Remembering, you still want to relate to that octagon. So you've got a back 4, front left 2, front right 2. So I will address those. And then as you bring the line in, and I did the shag this way. So when you get there, you can actually bring them in, and when you've got them there, lock them. Now, when they're there, determine, do you want to do scoop out or do you want to do high inversion in? So while you're there, you can now change across and you can work with the rotate. This is a rotate. Look, it's a piston razor, which is phenomenal to work with. So I'll hold the brushes here. Now, depending on what lengths I want to create here, I'll go in and start loosening this all the way down, and then out to the frame. So there's a removal. This is what I've got to work with. And what you will get, even with that one section, guys, you'll start to get this really cool, there it goes. A mannequin that's dead straight, you'll start to get this really, really cool, like texture running all the way through. And this is on a mannequin, this machine dead straight. You can get this movement start to appear. So if you work with style both ways in the Sargento, scrunch in with a diffuser, you can get this incredibly cool look to your design. Then when you're there, turn the design. So I'll turn her this way, so because I can keep that background in. Then I will go to the side. Bring the side in, like so. Now what you will get, this is the beauty. And this is what so many students, when I'm working with these, when we're doing hands-on, you know and you see what was layered out of that. Now watch, when you comb down, it disappears. And there it goes. Look, completely disappeared. All of the designs and the texture and the layering is inside. So you cut in the infrastructure of the cut. The other alternative is to work where you're doing 2 combs. So that way you've got more compression on the fabric. So I showed you here what you get with brushes. Very loose, very cool, really, really neat concept of layering. Then you can work with the combs here. And then if I turn it that way, you can see I would take this Then work on top of the combs with the brushes behind, combs at the front. And the idea is that at the base here, you're going to slowly move this out. So when you've got razor work, always remember, it must be in motion as you cut, in motion and out. This will give you also a tremendous amount of texture in your design. Look, you can start to almost put waves in there as you're working. You get these really beautiful. So that you've got more, you can start, you'll get this S shape start to form. And it's just fantastic. These are just techniques for speed, accuracy, but fun. Once the frame is in, which is their safety blanket, they call it like the security blanket. Once you've determined on what that length is between you and the client, and you've got that in with speed, here's what I would predict. I'm going to say that clients, they're going to start to be more adventurous. They've been at home for weeks on end. They come into us and it's like, okay, I need something totally different. And so when you go in and frame it and work, go in and start putting your touch to it. Let me show you that again on this side. So you take your combs. Make sure that you stay behind the ear, right there. Then bring the combs together, like so. And instead of doing the traditional where we say it's section, elevate, section out, this one incorporate all within the combs. Now then determine what you want here. How high do you want that pompadour? Do you want volume there? Do you want it low and concentrate on the infrastructure here? Once you've got it there, make sure those combs cross. When someone asks about what are the combs, that's why the combs are the same all the way down. Now I will hold the combs at the base and then determine on what I need to remove, and I will walk down, but watch this, I will come out across the frame and down.
Okay, so the other question on the interior, would you use scissors or razor? Can you just use your scissors, right? I can use show shortly.
It depends on the hair texture. You know, if I've got really coarse hair, then I would do as much razor work as I can. But what I'm looking for now is just to get this to have the volume. But what I want them to know that if I blow dry this, that although they see the layers and the textures, watch, you comb down and the layers will go, there they go. You can, guys, you can feel them go inside. So there they've gone and you're back into just a classic one length line. So it's multifaceted what you get with it. And then, as I said, you go back in, you've got this really cool tier and volume to it. Then when you come to the front, the beauty with the front is that that is really individual there. Now, I could go in and do, where I've got with these cuts from here, the cool thing is that, so I've gone with this, and sometimes I'll walk the back in, and I'll bring everything to the back and remove, then I get a lob. And I want to show you these. Can I show that one? Yeah, so this one. So here, for example, that's how I cut this. This was cut. So right now, this is one section. And what I say about practice, Mary said about that, get a man who can go into it. So I would get here, and I would diffuse in, look at it, say, okay, fine, that's what I'm working towards. But then when I draw everything to the center back and have the comb angles at a 45, I can actually, what's that? Show them.
Yeah, show them.
Got it. Right, watch. So when I go in, now again, make sure you're preparing. Make sure that the fabric is right on the ball throughout the entire frame. Then go in. Now this it takes practice. Please remember that grab mannequins, do it with us. When you know that we're doing a hands-on somewhere, join us, because it'll all be back into doing that. Now, when you get here, so what we've worked on is putting the frame in. What we're working on following that is actually getting interior work and control, but having it versatile. That's the beauty of it. Make sure that you're able to show them the versatility in your designing. Now, when I walk with this one, you know when you want to show people so much, like you want to just show dozens of different individual things, but it's all got to be done in stages so that we get to understand exactly what the method is all about. Now here. So once you've got them and they say, you know, it's like, cool, I want to work with one length, I love what you're doing, then you get into this, which is probably where I started a long time ago doing this. And I've got into pixies and fireflies, and I'm working on all different designs as we speak. This is still one of my favorites. So when you come in, you basically very, very carefully make sure you put a lot of work. If you notice, I put a tremendous amount of work into my combing, constantly combing. Then when you get here, now you've got to determine on where you want this inversion to be, how high you want the stack to be. Where do you want this? What length's here? You've over-directed from the front, guys, so you know you're going to get kick-ass amount of length at the front because of that extreme over-direction. So working it in, then let me turn her there. Love it. I love seeing that I can see perfectly at that bottom there. So draw back. Now, keys. This is what I look for at the base. And if you notice, there's like little squares at the bottom. So I make sure they're in. This I push to the nape, then I cross the mechanism over. Traditionally, we would do this. Central parting, go in, draw out, 45 cut. Next section, draw out, 45 cut. Then go over to the opposing side, draw out. Here was my dilemma. Here you're going exterior in. Here you're going interior out. Two entirely different techniques in the center of the head. So, draw through, and you will, honestly, you will love this, because when you're in the salon and you're standing next to someone and you see someone doing a design that is really different and they look like they're almost painting a design in, you've got to remember one thing. They're not the only ones watching. So are the clients throughout the salon. And they're looking to see, what is that person doing there? And then when they see the results, it's something. So, in, draw through. Make sure that there's absolutely perfection that you create in your combing. Draw across. Now, another key to what I have at the bottom, hold this between your fingers, like so. Then elevate up and out. So here I've put tension on that part. Then I go in. And then, like I said, please emphasis on your combing. Push in. Cross over. Now the white background was Mary's idea, and I think it's freaking amazing. Because with the dark hair, you can see exactly what I'm working on. So I place in. I finger compress so that I draw all of the fabric together. Then remove all the way down. Take your time. You're in creating the most fabulous bevel and the most phenomenal inversion. As you get to the nape, slowly start to bring the combs up. Bring them up, bring them up, bring them up. Don't remove them. Then go back in. And make sure your serrations are as clean as you possibly can. Okay, serrations have the ability of doing that. They lock together. So the movement from the back, short hair pushes long. So when there's this, you've got it. When you just cut straight, now I will say this. I've watched on various YouTubes at people doing this, and they do this. They cut straight down. No, because then you have channels, as opposed to when there's serrations. Then another thing with those serrations are, take your razor and just tip off. Take those tips off and let it sit. Watch what it does. Now your focus, there it goes. You can feel it go in. Guys, it's the most amazing. This is why I have been so dedicated to these techniques, because I can get cuts sitting that are absolutely unfreaking believable in angulation, in how I can control a cut, what I can do with that cut. My thing is, I've left so much length at the front through over direction that you have clients going, I'm cool with that. That's awesome. When they see what the back does, it's amazing. And then go in and, as I say, take the blades and have them slightly angled at a 45. Now, I know there's a lot of people that just love to do it the traditional way, and I'm all cool with that. What I'm going to do is go back to what Mary said at the beginning. If you can create accuracy at that level in one section, and then go in and put your personal touch to it, that's art. That's creativity. The hardest thing I'm doing right now is I'm looking at a big picture of someone's face with a strange background.
That's our fault, not his.
I'll be okay with that. That's our fault. Now, when you bring her in, look, I will show you on the back so you can see, and then go in and start personalizing the cut. Like so. Then look at that. The stack will start to appear. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people have seen me doing this over the years in so many different places, around, in actual fact, around the world, because Mary and I, with a friend of ours, John Bergere, were the first ones in Korea to do shows. And I was doing them then, and you get people going, are you kidding me? Did you just see what he did? And yet, it's that old thing. You've got to try it yourself. And when I was in Barcelona with, it was with Paula Kent Mahan and their business awards that were there. I sat at the swimming pool with my mentor, and he's just sat there, and I said, well, I'm trying these techniques. He goes, Philip, just do me a favor. Take what I've shown you, what I've shown the world, but put your own thing to it. Don't follow me. That's just mine. Use my blueprint if you need to, but kick in different angulations, slightly different techniques. So I basically took this man's, his first name started with a V, and the second initial in his name was an S. And he says, Philip, do what you're doing. Don't change. But you will find people that it's not criticizing what you're doing. They question it because you need to practice this. We used to have to need to practice in the 70s. So now, I'll show you as this tilts. I'll clean up the back. But honestly, the precision that you can get, and I'll move over this side now. Can you see? individuality comes in a base of these designs. So when you work them in, it's up to you what you do at the back. But I am telling you from many years of experience, I have worked with these techniques, and I even get told by my wife, my partner, and you know, you always do these haircuts. And I do, I fall back into them. And yet I think the technique has the ability of doing a tremendous amount of different looks. So today I was in my garage and I thought, I'm going to do and show the cuts that can be accrued with the Wilson method on the twin combs or twin brushes. But look at the shapes, guys. Look.
Hey, Phil, we got a couple of questions coming in, if you don't mind. Everybody's mesmerized, obviously, by what you do. You make me feel like I could actually go to beauty school and cut hair someday, and maybe in my 50th year. The couple of questions, if Mary wants to relay them to you. First of all, how does it apply to curly hair? That was from my friend Mo out in North Carolina. Another one, Rocio had said, you know, afraid of very thick hair, how would you manage density? And then someone had asked about what type of razor you were using, if you want to give us some heads.
Well, I got the curly hair. I heard that.
Curly, density, and tell us about your razor.
Okay, curly. I would work with the brushes. Less compression. I can move the brushes according to where I want to go. So let me just let you see that. This basically is the compression of the brushes as opposed to what you get with the combs. So when I'm working with curly or wavy hair, I walk around, I will put the frame in, but there's also things that do like black box coil cutting, where I actually lift the top of the head, go around underneath, and coil in certain directions in fine 1-inch coils on curly hair, just to get the movement. I'll watch what the movement's doing. Then I'll go in with the brushes and I'll follow the direction of the movement, and I can put some fantastic shapes in heads. It's unbelievable. The razor, very unusual, because I said earlier on, it has a piston. But what it has got, I notice when I'm watching people use a razor, they'll go in there, or some people do this. And if you have a normal feather, you've got no harness for to rest your pinky on. So what, if I did that one, I can fit there, I can do that. So this is a piston razor. And it is a joint with VIA, with Mark Wright. And if you look at it, you must see, this is very important. There's the name Wilson on here, and then Mark's company on there. So this is the piston razor. Now, why a piston razor? It's because I can move it. I'm not limited to what my wrist ability is. I can work this in and get shapes. And I think, well, that's really cool. I can layer that out. Like if I wanted to really layer this out and play with it, I would work with the combs and then go in, and it's the angles that I can accrue. Let me show you something.
Want to get that razor.
You would go on to our website, which Mary will show you everything at the end, where you can go on. There you will find the scissors, the combs, the brushes, and the razor. And of course, my best friend, don't stress it. Come on, any more questions? Bring it on. This is like Muhammad Ali in here right now. Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, we had a question. Somebody said they can't believe that you've been in the industry 50 years because you look so fantastic. But I just found out that was from Mary Wilson.
Wait a minute.
Did you hear that?
They were talking about Mary?
Yeah.
What's wrong with this? This is, okay, it was Mary. It's Mary. But let me show you something. So this basically is how the cut sits. And I just want you to look at what the harness frame is doing. And then, of course, remember, I put a lot of layering in this back. So you can still scrunch that and get some really cool volume looks to it. But if you want to blow dry in, look at the harness. Look how this sits. And then what I've got is, this is a shorter version, which I would like to show you. And this is So when I worked with this one, it was the same principle again. You take it, you've got to find, I make it so it's imperative. You want to really find where the light beams are within a design. So that from the front, I would place the blade in at the front. Now, one key component, the blade must be flat to the head. We got that? The blade flat to the head, not there, because you're already starting a level of graduation too soon. So go in, glide through, and it's the same principle. Elevate up. Now watch the comb. As you come down, start to turn the comb, and then go to your desired angle, go inside, and when the shorter you get, try to get a pretty good bow to it, like so, and remove. Other way to do it is where you section, pull, cut, section, pull, cut. This one, no. Sorry? Oh, sorry. But what they do is they move beautiful. And you get the stacks at the back sat coming in to what the front will do. So you get these beautiful little pompadours there. Then you get the length running through to the front. And I will tell you, I find this, I'll turn her so you can see here. I find this so much easier to balance these short cuts that will go in and do the coolest looks to them. You get these really beautiful lines. We will, within the Wilson method of hands-on, we take you through the various stages. So you'll do it, you'll go with long, you'll go with medium, you'll go with layering and texturizing, you'll go into shorter. But when you get them, you get the coolest looks. Then, I love these because these are like little pixies, and they're little cute shorties. And then you get the back, which goes into, which is cool. The backs go into like a DA. And let me explain to you what a DA is for my younger group. DA is where it sits in the back. It folds like so. Then it comes around and you start to get these beautiful, look at the shapes. So it's a combination of all different, you've got like a little pixie front here. You've got yourself an asymmetric slope there. You've gathered volume here. Then you get these beautiful arcs. Then you get a little DA. A DA is the initials for duck's ass. If you look at a duck's ass, not that I want you to go right now and look at one, do it later, but you'll notice the feathers come in and meet in the center. Then you have a like an arc that goes out, which sits beautiful. That is a DA. It's got quite a versatile, I've done a combination of things here. I think Maurice would be very pleased with me on this one. So there again, this was another line. Then from there, don't go away.
Hi, Stephen, Ira, Cindy, Nikki. Hi for everybody.
Hi, everybody. And look, this is my other girl. This is a classic shag, done with the twin brushes after I framed it. But let me take her off of here because I want you to see this. And hi, Nikki and Ira Ludwig. Fantastic cutter, amazing hairdresser. I think Ira will be. Sorry? Oh, Stevie! Look, so now it's my turn for you to watch for me. I listened to you singing this morning, and I have to tell you, if you decide not to do hair anymore, swear to God, you lead singer with, it's your thing. It's your second calling. But this one is the classic shag. And this one you can basically do, check this one out. And basically, this one is drawn at the front with the twin combs in the center. And throughout the cut, but watch what she'll do. You can get so much volume. It's such a sexy haircut. It just does so much. And this one I did with the twin combs at the front, and then the brushes throughout the back. Now, when I go in, I'm very fussy. Like, I'll work with a hairspray, like Final Act. And I go in, and basically every last section, I go in and I spray the circumference of the brush. Then I'll go in with the hairspray on the brush and just start to lift a little more height in. And then I show my clients how you can do this, what you can do, how do you get the volume. But with this one, you can tuck them, you can play with them, and you can get some freaking awesome haircuts appear. And I just wanted to show you all this today, all these different things that you can get and play with and have fun with. And it's all done and basically with the Wilson method. That's me here. I'm here. I'm between. Can you see me here, guys? Good. Pretty.
Creepy.
No, pretty. Someone said, my gosh, he's so handsome. I read that. I read that. And then when you, so journey, here's where you go. First, the one length I showed you. Then the shag. From the shag.
Yeah, that's the finish.
Oh, awesome. Then into, and I am not saying that it can't, because it can, but I would tell you, I've spent decades trying to get cuts like this, traditional with fingers, to get that amount of movement and that amount of weight at the front from such a high inverted arc was almost impossible for front and back balance. But what I want you to look at, there's the light beam right there. There it is. That's what I want you to see. What that beam will tell you is perfection on this particular head. So that's what I wanted to show you, all within the Wilson method. I'll move this out so Mary can come in, because I noticed Mary already has an audience that she looks so young for someone that's been doing it for the time she's been doing it. I'm 38 years old, and I've been doing it for 50 years. And I know most of my hair friends aren't good with math, so that'll work.
So, do you have any more questions for Philip before we
What is
share
time?
how to stay connected with us?
Can you hear us okay, Mary?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so a couple of things. So first of all, from my end, you guys know I don't do hair, so I run the front desk. I do a lot of obvious things like changing LED light bulbs, as you know from our first call. But in terms of the timing, so speed, accuracy, timing, how does that play in? So obviously when everybody gets back to work, which we all hope is sooner than later, how does that play into the timing, and how does that play into the client's perception of the timing? If you could do a cut like this so quick, you know, do they feel like they should pay less?
Okay, so his question is, and it's a really good one. How much time do you feel like you could reduce in a scheduled time with a client, and how do they feel about that? So would they feel like they should have to pay less?
No, not at all, not at all. And I have truly, I have my salons downtown. If you know Vancouver, which is an unbelievably fashionable city, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, we had a downtown location, JP and I put this to the test hundreds of different times where I got caught backed up on clients. So I started to work on these techniques, and the speed came into what I was doing. And here was the beauty of it. If you're doing something different than anyone else in the city, in your town, in your village, wherever you're from, if you're doing something different, it's not tagged that it should be cheaper. It's tagged that you've gone somewhere, you've acquired incredible education, you're doing it different than anyone else in the city. So two things, no on price reduction. In fact, I would increase, because of the uniqueness to it. The speed allowed me, listen, on average, and I put this to the test so much, 3 to 4 clients a day was how I increased my daily intake of clients. And I'm telling you, I was one solid book client with clients. So increased it, I increased my price. Then after a period of time when people said, if you go and it's traditionally done, but you watch him, first of all, he stands me up when he's putting a frame in. I stand, I put my hand on either side of the chair, I look in the mirror, he puts the frame in. That was the first cut I showed you. They remember things like this. Then if they don't get that the next time because you're not available or someone else is doing it, they feel cheated that way. So My thing is learn it, understand it, execute it, increase your pricing, increase 2 to 3 people more per day, and be uniquely different at what you do.
Yeah, I
So
love
I'm
that
gonna
statement.
add
'Cause
to
that's-
add to that too, is that you have more time to blow dry and finish
Yeah.
and personalize, more time for color. So if you look at the block of time, I don't think there's any client who would be happy to be 2 hours in the chair instead of 3 hours in the chair. Let's say
No.
you're doing like an intensive color service. When they're done with that, let's hope that the cut could be faster, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so yes, a single line cutting, working in the perimeter. You could also use combs and brushes to create the line and then go through with your hands and extend the line. So it's starting to introduce these techniques into what you do.
And let me add
Guys.
to that, and I think this is important. While our clients have been at home, they've had time to go on iPads, iPhones, and check what's going on, because that's what they're doing. So other than a 5-point, and I would Google that, which is Sassoon's hardest of cuts, was the Firefly. The Firefly is a beautiful haircut, long front, compressed throughout. I can do that one in a matter of minutes. Then I upsell them with color, then I upsell them with products. So my ticket per person is drastically increased, all through a technique that I didn't snub, I enhanced, and I evolved it to where it is today.
And Philip doesn't
Hey,
know this
Mary,
yet, but one of
Philip-
our clients requested a class in the Firefly. So that might be something we're going to be doing live in the next month or so.
Probably
We're
Guys.
on.
Friday of the
Derek,
3 days.
Mary?
Sorry, Derek.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get this by everybody. Let's start thinking the Wilson method of cutting. There's the Diva Curl method out there. There's the John Sahag dry cutting. Now we have the Wilson method. Upsell it.
Yes.
Upsell it. Everybody upsells the Diva Curl method and dry cutting. Upsell
Yes.
the Wilson method.
Mhm.
When John, very well said, when John did the dry cutting, you can see Mary controls me rather well. Wait a second. Okay. Right, I'm off. Derek, hello, Derek. Now, I'm positioned nicely. When John did a lot of the dry cutting, it got slammed. People say, what do you mean you're cutting dry hair? And it was his thing. When Vidal in the late 50s was doing his architectural cutting, you have people like Raymond and all the traditional hairdressers in London, Savile Row, Knightsbridge, Kensington, saying rubbish, rubbish. There was one other person, Freddie French, and Freddie was avant-garde way out there. And as a little boy, I used to walk past the salon and he'd have statues of his incredible work outside. And it drew people that they thought, inside is an artist. Everybody has their thing. All I'm suggesting is combine them. Find your own paintbrush. Don't use someone else's. Find your paintbrush and be known and with a reputation as an artist in your own form. And don't criticize other people. I don't want to be better than anyone else out there. I just want to be the best at what I do.
Wow.
Bravo. Well
That was
said,
very
Phil.
profound. Very deep, by the way.
It was.
I think I need a gin and tonic. I was very
Yeah.
stressed for saying that.
Hey guys, a couple of questions that came in too. First of all, Nancy had asked when, based on that cut, when your client comes back for a cut in 5 weeks, you're sort of following the same steps to do a trim and keep the cut updated.
Absolutely. Yep. Same steps. Yep.
Okay.
I didn't
How
hear
do you,
that. It
the
broke up.
question was, how do you follow up 5 weeks later when they come back in for
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the
Unless they
same.
want something slightly different.
Remember, look for the light.
The line.
Right. Look for the light beam. Glide below the light beam. Put your frame in. Follow the same techniques.
Cool. Dawn Marie on
Follow us and we'll
Facebook.
teach you.
Dawn Marie on Facebook asked what a Firefly cut was.
Well, it's
Wow.
pretty extensive.
There's various, if you look it up,
Look it up.
there's various, people have various interpretations of it. It's extremely difficult haircut, but I will assure you that when you work with these, because you need very close proximity to the head, especially when you're working on the infrastructure underneath, the combs can get you that close. 2 fingers, it's that close. I brought 2
Or
fingers
that
up. I
close.
shouldn't do that. Nicholas won't appreciate that.
No, actually, Nick French just came in and said, thanks for mentioning Freddie. He was very happy about that.
a great man, a true artist and an artisan in a league of his own.
And we're going to
As
have
with
Nick
so-
with us.
Yes.
Nick's going to be here.
Good, goody.
It's cool. And a lot of questions. I know Mary had been kind enough to post in Facebook, and I reposted in Zoom about where they can get the brushes and combs.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody wants to
Right.
know how they can get more education from you. So if you guys want to give a plug to your website.
Here we go. We're very high tech here.
Wow, Palm Springs has the best technology.
Oh my God, we gotta back it
I've
up.
got this. You do that.
Okay,
I got this.
I can't back it up, man. All right, bring it this way. How's that now?
There we
Okay.
go.
Whoa, watch the light there, mister. Okay, so here we go. We are a direct business, so that means that we have to have you request to join, right? So that means that to become a member, you would go to our website and click join now, basically answer questions about your business. So with so much time on our hands, we've had a lot of people that have been requesting to join, and we look at, do you have a website? What's your Facebook page? You know, we're really qualifying that people are truly salons, not somebody thinking about becoming a salon. So answer those questions, and then you will then be sent a welcome to the membership, and from then on you can buy at wholesale pricing. And that also gives you access to our tools. So once you get to membership, so www.wilsonhaircollective.com, that's our website, and then you can buy the tools. So what we've done, and I did put this on Facebook too, is we have the combs. The set of combs are 2 for $10. Brushes are 2 for $12. If you purchase the combs and brushes, you also get a free, don't stress it. And if you use the code TOOLSHIP3, you also get free shipping. So these are the things that you need along with a mannequin. So like I said before, we started digging your garage, digging your attic, wherever you go to find old mannequins and start to practice. On Instagram, you can follow us at Wilson Hair Collective. And we also do all of our education for professionals only. So that's why we're in the Salon Mastermind group tonight. And we have a group called Wilson Collective Pros Only. And this group is where you join us on Facebook and you have the opportunity to connect with us and get weekly education. And that's where we post all of our educational videos. Right now, for the last probably 6 months or so, we've been posting every Tuesday. We do a 2-minute video. So it's one of Philip's techniques, 2 minutes or less, that you get a chance to see what he does. And you know, as soon as we can, somebody asked in the Facebook group, do you do education classes? So as Philip said, the week after next, we feel like there's a lot going on right now. So we want to kind of let people figure out how they're going to keep their business alive. And that's, of course, critically important. And then when people start getting bored in a couple of weeks, we're going to do this series on Beauty Launchpad live on their page. We're doing the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Monday the
classes.
20th.
Monday
Yep.
starting on the 20th.
Yep.
And then after that, what we're looking at doing, so if you get the combs and brushes, we're looking at actually doing some free 4-hour hands-on workshops. So that will be through Zoom and probably in small groups so that people can raise their hand and ask questions if they need to. So of course it's not the same as being there in person, but you know, while we're all incarcerated, yeah,
Ooh,
the way we're all stuck
all at home.
so because we're all doing what we're supposed to do right now, we have time. So we're looking at doing some workshops too. So the place to connect with us is that Wilson Collective Pros Only. We would love for you to sign up to be a member of Wilson Collective and talk about the possibility of being part of our family and retailing our brand after this. Cindy and Stephen and Ira and
Linda.
Nikki are all already retailing Wilson Collective, and we're happy that, you know, they've come on board to support us in the first year. And we're excited to make new friends. So please join us.
That,
Guys,
She's
can
covered
you
it.
hear me?
Oh, here's Derek.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on.
So if you're listening in the group, definitely take a look at their products. You will be amazed. Also, if you are using Salon Interactive right now, Wilson Collective just signed on to Salon Interactive, so you can sell their stuff online through your retail store on your website once you get used to the products, right?
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yes.
Soon. They're setting
Yeah, very soon.
We're getting it set up this
So
week.
it is happening. We're very excited about that for you guys.
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
excited
Here
about
too.
Nuts tonight, Philip. They were awesome. That's the fastest inverted bob I've ever seen.
I don't like the backdrop.
You don't like that background?
No, I don't like it. Sorry. I like the jet.
I'll put the jet on next time.
He had to land after, so many days.
But Derek, thanks for allowing us to come on for an hour. Really appreciate it. All you guys involved. And it's just put a lighter tone to it.
And keep coming back every night, because I've been here every night, and every person has gems that you can take away. Hope, inspiration. We all have a lot of time to think about where we're at right now and where we want to be and how we want to improve our businesses, ourselves personally. And speaking of which, personally, I also teach yoga. So you can tune in. I'm going to be teaching yoga.
Derek does yoga.
For free. Derek, I know you'll be in. Maybe Jessica, I don't know. But,
I will be.
Yeah. So Friday morning, yoga class. So again, follow us on Wilson Collective Pros Only, and you can learn about yoga
Does
too.
Derek have to wear colorful tights or just shorts?
He can wear whatever he wants.
Okay, good.
His tutu, he'll wear his tutu. Hey, I just want to, I just want to say, Mary, Philip, thank you for bringing beauty into this world. God knows we need it. And Philip, you are a true master. And really, and I've known many of those guys, and you are the real deal. Truly.
I just, you know what? I just love what I do and like Mary said, this is November last year was 50 years. And I've never done anything else. And I've always looked at it as that it's not a job. It's a incredible industry to be in. It's very unique in what it does. And the fact is that we're artists, psychiatrists, and therapists all in one is an incredible thing. I think that we'll be back. We'll put it back where it belongs. It's going to be an awesome journey from here on in. And we would just like to be part of each and everyone's journey with the technique and creativity and products that will just complement what everybody's doing. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure to have you guys on this evening. Look forward to having you on again, as this thing is going to go on, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Everybody, everybody stay tuned every night at 8:00. Make sure you pre-register if you're not registered yet for the Facebook group and for the Zoom webinars live. Thank you again. It was a pleasure and our honor to have you on.
Lots of love, guys. Lots of love coming on. Everybody loves you, and looking forward to seeing more from you.
Have a good night.
Take care, guys. Thank you.